Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Thriving LDS Singles podcast. It's so exciting to have you here today, and my co-host, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
It's so good to have us together. And today's another one where we're just going to talk about a topic together. And we're going to talk about, the word loneliness and the epidemic. Every group tells you about this loneliness epidemic that's happening in the world.
Yeah,
and
we keep hearing about that. It is an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. And I mean, that's sad for all of us.
Yeah.
And as singles in the church, it is certainly one of the things we hear about a lot, the loneliness.
Yeah.
And so we have to pull this apart of like, what is the loneliness that's to do with, the general society that says we're lonely and why that is.
Mm-hmm.
And why as singles in the church which is supposed to be about community and family and connection, why people are still feeling lonely.
Yeah.
So, Kim, you've got some ideas on this. It's like, is a terrible topic, isn't it?
So just personally, I've really struggled with this. I've been going around saying I'm lonely because I live alone. And then on top of that, I don't have any family nearby. My brothers, my sisters, my parents, my children, my grandchildren all live in Utah. So they're all quite a ways away from me. And I'm new to the area, but I have some good friendships and things. I'm the Relief Society president. I am always connected to people. I'm always interacting with people. I have all kinds of meetings to go to. So it's not for lack of being busy. And so
it's not a lack of people in your life, is it? It's like
no, not at all. Yeah, I have not only do I have that calling, but I have the single adult state committee representative calling. So I'm connecting to the single adults and people all the time. But
so yeah, for people who don't know, that we have to work really hard to find a time where we can meet.
Yeah.
And it's Kim getting in amongst Kim's schedule. It's like she's got things happening all the time. This is not a person who's sitting at home watching TV and going, I'm lonely. That's not who you are.
No. And so, but in spite of that, I have felt this like feeling of loneliness. I'm like, what is that about? And the definition, I think, of loneliness is really the absence of connection. And so I thought I need to study this more because there's this longing, sad part of me that is feeling what I was calling loneliness, but it's not for lack of connection by any means with people that I love and care about and close friends and all kinds of people. So anyway, so I've been studying it a little bit because of that. And I also pulled up some statistics because we keep hearing that it's an epidemic. But so I thought, it's got to be this huge number, right? But when I pulled it up, they said that 20%, a Gallup poll says that 20% of adults feel lonely on a daily basis. I don't know. What do you think? Is that a high number or a low number? I actually thought it was lower than I would have expected based on
they're calling it an epidemic.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing people are lonely. 20%. Yeah, I don't know. It's a substantial number, isn't it? But it's certainly
1 in 5. I mean, I guess if you look at it that way, it does seem like quite a bit.
And certainly in those early parenting days, when you had little kids and stuff, I don't think the word loneliness entered my head.
No. And I think part of the reason they call it an epidemic is because it's they're seeing it more and more in younger people. And that's the growing concern, because if they're young, when, we typically feel a little more hopeful and are connecting with our friends and thriving. And if they're feeling lonely, then we can see that growing into being a pretty serious problem as they start to age, because it is a challenge. So maybe that's why they're calling it an epidemic.
Well, and the connectedness. So certainly we hear about in the world where it's hard to find friends, it's hard to feel connected. And
yeah. And it's
And
one
so,
of the benefits. It's one of the benefits of being LDS and being in the church is because we have a ward family. I mean, we all have kind of our own personal issues, right? Of why we self-isolate, but we do have a ward family. We do have events in the ward family as well as in the single adults. I mean, we have a lot. We have service, always at being asked to serve in some form or fashion. So we have a lot of ways to connect and give to the community.
and I think that when I hear people in the church saying, they feel alone, you do think, well, have you done your ministering this month? Like, there's people that you've actually assigned to talk to. Like, have you done that? Have you done your calling? Like, do you go to church? Do you talk to people? Like, have you found the one sitting by themselves? So, we're encouraged a lot to be connected.
Yes.
And I know, and we've had people we've interviewed, haven't we, where they've been single in a ward and they've told us all of the things they do to get connected to that ward.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that we can do personally, like that we can be proactive. And, I've been in this ward now 2 years. I wouldn't say I particularly feel like it's my ward family, but there are, but I do go to the Relief Society morning teas and I really like them. Like we do that about once a month, and then they've got a walking group that meets about once a month. And so I've got to know groups of people, and so I do get more connection through that.
Yeah, that's nice.
I was just saying, volunteering at the temple is actually a really good way to get connected because you usually have a shift and it's the same group of people. And so you get to know that group of people really well. And I don't know the statistics, but there's a lot of single people that serve in the temple. Like that would be one of their bigger groups, I would have thought. So
yeah, I like that perspective. And so back to kind of my challenge of what is it that I'm feeling if it's not actual loneliness, right?
It's not lack of talking to people in a day.
Yeah, or even feeling connected. But I think I was able to kind of figure out what it was, and it was really just that longing for a romantic partner. I was doing some research on it, and a couple lines that I thought feel like, oh, this is probably what's going on for me is one line was, longing for someone to love you is about a deep desire for a specific kind of connection, a romantic, committed, emotionally safe. Because when you have that romantic partner connection, you have similar goals, you care about each other in a similar fashion in terms of wanting to love and support each other and achieving your dreams. Hopefully you have similar values. It's like sharing things with somebody who really feels the way about you that you feel about them, kind of a thing, And I think that is what I'm probably feeling more than just loneliness. That's
so the desire for a deep connection with someone.
Yeah.
And you don't find that with, like, you've still got parents, brothers, sisters, like you don't have
very close friends. No, I think, and in fact, kind of one of the next lines that they mentioned was, you can have friends, family, and social contact and still feel that ache. Because it's not about being alone in a crowd. It's about wanting to be cherished by somebody special and wanting to give that kind of love back to somebody and sharing in those kinds of things. And so I think that's probably more what the longing is or the desire is, than to actually just connect with people. Like you can share, say, a beautiful sunset with somebody that you are a good close friend to, or a sibling, or your children, and that's enjoyable. But I don't know, there's something more meaningful, I feel like, if you're with somebody you really like, a romantic partner, and are sharing that sunset. I don't know, what do you think?
I can see that as the dream for love. I suspect even lots of marriages don't have that.
I had that same thought. I was thinking the same thing. In fact, when I read that line, I thought, well, gosh, did I have that in my previous marriage? Not so sure I did. So,
Right.
there
I,
is a romantic fantasy part of that.
yeah. Like I certainly didn't have it in my first marriage. And I think there is that statement of, the loneliest I've ever been is when I married. Like that's
Yeah.
really lonely because
Yeah.
you've got the person that's supposed to be doing that and they're not.
I
And
feel like that's even worse. I really do
yeah.
feel that's even worse than being alone and
Mm.
having that desire. Yeah, that's hard.
And so, yes, I'm missing that right now too.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, not.
I actually made a list. I shared my list with you, Kate, because I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this list of all the things that you just don't enjoy as much with a that you would enjoy so much more if you had a romantic partner to share it with than if you just shared it with anybody else, and even just things that you are stuck with being alone, like scratching the middle of your back, just little things, silly
Little
ones.
things like that. Yeah.
So I made the list and I thought I'll just find an anecdote or a way to solve that problem in every instance, so I went through the list. There's just some things that you just can't solve.
You
That's
just
just
can't
the way it
solve.
is.
That's right.
Some you
Oh,
can come up with a close second and a good friend or a phone call with somebody close that you're close to or whatever can really make a difference, or a good hug from somebody where you're a good 20-second, they say 20-second is the time
Yeah, the
frame
hugs.
for
You've got to go to the 4-year-olds for the hugs. They're
yeah,
the best huggers.
yeah. I know I told you that story. I went when one of this last time I went home, my little grandson, he's 3, calls me Grandma Tim. And when I walked in, he said, "Oh, Grandma Tim, I love you so much." And I was worried. I thought, hey, I haven't seen him for 2 months. He's not even know who I am. But he was so excited to see me. He was sitting on the other side of the table at a restaurant. So he's not supposed to get up, He's supposed to be well behaved at the restaurant. So he's just sitting there talking to me. And finally said, "What's that on your lips, Grandma?" And I said, "That's my chapstick." And a couple minutes later, he popped up and came around the table and he said, "Grandma Tim, I just need to kiss those lips." I was like, I am not. Normally I don't kiss my kids, my grandkids, or my kids on the lips, but I wasn't going to turn that one down.
That is so sweet and so beautiful. And yeah, that's definitely the grandkids are definitely one of the places to get that
Yeah,
some of the
yeah.
attention from. I've got like a mark here on my face. It's some people would even call them old age spots. But my granddaughter says, "No, it's your heart, Nana."
Oh, it does look like a heart a little bit. That's cute. That's
It's
sweet.
a much better reframe. I like it.
That's
It's
cute.
my heart.
You just wear it right out there on your cheek.
Yeah, it does. It really did change my whole attitude to it. It's like, yeah, I've got a heart. So, yeah, grandkids definitely can help with some of that.
That's true. Too
But yeah,
bad mine are so far away.
but you're right. Like you know, to, and I find that the one that gets me is when the good times happen. Like it's not
Yeah.
even someone to talk the bad times over because I could talk to
Yeah.
Kim about bad times. Like it
That's true. It might be better than a romantic partner to
might
share
be
it with
better.
me.
Yeah, good times. And I know the first time was like the daughter graduating from high school was one,
Yeah.
and I was so proud of her. And everybody else was like, "Oh, that's good." Lots of kids graduate high school. That's nothing exciting, really, is it? But this is a child that's had dyslexia, that's had, all sorts of problems through school.
Yeah.
School was really hard for this
That's a
kid.
big deal.
And then for her father to die through like the last couple of years of high school. And, it was heartbreaking to watch this kid go through school.
Yeah.
And to sort of see her graduate. She got some awards, like, she was in the band that played for the graduation ceremony, like so proud. And
Yeah.
I needed that person beside me to go, "We did it. She got there,"
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody else is just like, "Oh, good. She graduated grade 12. That's nice." It's
Yeah.
like,
I think you're right. The celebrations with each other when you've
Mm,
worked together, or even when you haven't, but you know how much it means, and
mm.
you have the same heartfelt feelings about it. It makes a huge difference.
A huge difference. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's solutions to that stuff. I think that's just
Mhm.
called life sucks sometimes.
Yeah, well, and I think that's another thing that really helped me, because I kept thinking, you so often hear, oh, if you just had a better relationship with God. In fact, I was chatting with somebody on Mutual the other night talking about being alone. And he said, but you're never alone. And I'm like, yeah, 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 I know that. This is true. But it's so I think it's sometimes is easy to go to that card, right? And say, oh, you're never alone. You're always loved, which is so true. And that relationship and keeping that relationship strong and healthy is so important. And I have, you know, there's no question that makes a difference, but it's still not the same. And kind of what I realized in my research is where they, even in the scriptures and even when they're talking about it, really Heavenly Father set it up so that we do have a longing for a person. I mean, he talks about the fact that we are supposed to have a helpmeet, and that he designed us for that connection. He really did design us to have that, to desire and to want that connection. And so to think that he can fill that spot while we're here on earth is not practical. That's not even how he set up the plan.
Well, yes and no. Like, so yes, like the desire to have a helpmeet is definitely strong. And,
Yeah.
no, I can't
It's
remember the
not a
joke.
weakness, I guess, is what I would say. Or
It's not a
like there's
weakness.
some
No,
deficiency in your relationship with God because you still have that desire, I think is why it made me feel a little better.
no, it's definitely not a deficiency. But life is such that people, it's God didn't design life where a couple's going to die together.
Right.
That's not going to happen. So nearly everybody is going to be single. You're either going to be dead or you're going to be the single
Yeah.
person. That's
Yes. And part of this life is in figuring out how to not let those desires consume us, right? I
mm,
mean, that is part of our life's challenge here, is to overcome those things or to find ways to resolve those things. So that's definitely an aspect of it. And that's why I say the relationship is so important. But I think I was walking around feeling like there must be something wrong with me or my relationship with God, because I still just have this aching longing for something and don't know how to fix it. So that's why it made me feel a little bit better.
yeah, no, that's good because yeah. So that's the number one message is that doesn't mean just because you've got that longing doesn't mean anything's wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Or
So
that you
that
don't have a good, healthy relationship with your Heavenly Father and God.
if you're, but if you sort of spend like, I never talk to anybody for a week, you're going, yeah, no, that's actually something you can do something about.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So if the loneliness is coming from, I'm sitting here, just the only TV is the only thing that talks to me all day. It's like, okay, well, you need to get out and do something.
Yeah.
And you do everything from, joining a group to volunteering to just doing your ministering. Like there's a range of things you can.
I really love that thought about, have you, okay, so you're feeling lonely. Well, have you called and talked to your two people or however many you're assigned as a minister? Because we know that that's a big gap in our, kind of all the wards. You hear it consistently across all the wards that it could be done better. And
Mm,
so that's a really good perspective. I think I really like that.
mm. So yes, that you don't need to be alone.
Yeah, yeah.
You can solve that part of the problem. And I think there is a strong component in your relationship with God. And
Mm-hmm.
I certainly noticed that in my, in the trials of the, as my husband
Yeah.
was getting sick, and it was like when when your partner is that sick, so you no longer can, like people sort of say, oh yes, I understand, my mum died or my child died even, and they're tough situations,
Yeah.
but you actually had your partner to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So when your partner is the person that's dying,
Yeah.
who do you, like, how do you share that burden?
Yeah.
And it was really hard.
Yeah.
And that's where God came in,
Yeah.
because that was the person that was understanding and was helping me and holding me up and giving me that strength
Yeah.
that you would normally have turned to your partner for.
Yeah.
And so I can honestly say that this trial has meant that my relationship with God has improved dramatically. Like, I have really,
Yes. Me too. In being just single, I think that's true.
yeah.
But
And
and
so it is, although it's not the complete solution, it is a big part of the solution.
I agree. I think you have to approach it like from a two-pronged approach, like one is make sure that you're doing everything to make that a good, healthy, solid relationship and build your spiritual connection, because that will be such a huge offset, right? To whatever's going on for you, whatever you're feeling. And then there's also the other of how do I get more, how can I broaden my horizons? We don't have control over finding a romantic partner necessarily, but we do have ways to open ourselves up to be willing to have more opportunity, I guess I would say, in finding a romantic partner. And so,
well, that's right. God can work miracles, but it's very unlikely that he's going to drop this perfect partner through the roof of your house.
That's right. And singles activities is a great way. There's plenty of other ways, though, to make an opportunity. I mean, even just asking people, telling people, hey, I would love to find a partner. If you know of somebody, let me know, or sharing more about yourself so people know more about who you are, and they feel that kind of openness, then they're going to be more apt to engage with you. The more you make somebody feel comfortable around you, the more you're going to have opportunities to connect with people. And you never know when those connections are going to turn out to be the right person or not,
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think especially your friends at church, because, not everybody goes to the single adult functions.
Yeah.
But they know who's there, who's single. And usually when you see people connecting at church, it is through some connection of others that have helped them find each other.
Yeah. And the reality is the dating apps are also an option. I mean, nowadays it's a big deal.
Okay, we're going to do a podcast on the dating apps soon.
Yes,
so stay tuned, everybody, because I'm a bit like, I don't know what your reaction was when she said that, but mine was like
it's just becoming a more and more common way. If you're at a singles activity, that typically is meant for, unless you're at a dance, and even sometimes at the dances, which people just go to dance, right? And not really to find somebody to dance with. But anyway, so any of those activities is really just a way to connect with people. But a dating app is specifically designed for, hey, I'm going to find I'm looking for somebody to connect with in a different kind of way. So that's why it's a very specific, but you're right. We sure could use some work in how to improve dating apps and that whole process. There's no question. So, and Kate, you know what else? I love your suggestion of being a temple worker, because that's kind of a twofer. You get to improve your spiritual relationship and be in the temple and have that. And at the same time, you're right, there are a ton of single adults that are in the temple. And so, and passing through the temple, even if they're not the group that you're connecting to on a weekly basis by, being in the temple every week with them, there's people all the time that are coming through the temple that are single that you have opportunity to connect with. So not that you would be picking up people in the temple, but
well, you do. Like, I know that the temple's definitely not, a dating app, but it is. Don't underestimate it. As I see it probably more in the young adults, but the number of young adults that met each other at the temple. And it's, oh, wow, you two are dating. Oh, you two are dating. Oh, you two are dating.
Yeah.
Even just that's fun to watch. That's,
It is, it's so fun. And I feel like even in our group, we've seen so many people like leave the group or
yeah.
announce that they're getting
We,
married,
we've had dates,
or
we've had marriages just in our groups, haven't
I
we?
know it's very exciting and I love seeing it. It's kind of it causes two reactions for me. This is how I was telling Kate earlier, this is how it felt. Like I would get really sad when I was participating in my son's wedding, not because I'm so joyful and excited and happy for him and I love my daughter-in-law so much, and so I can't even describe how happy I am for them, but I get a little bit sad because I don't have that same thing. It makes me a little bit heartsick. And to just kind of watch their whole love story and hear about their love story and how they met and how their dating process, and see them interact with each other and be, just how it's just beautiful and kind of makes me sad at the same time.
Well, look, young love is just beautiful.
It
Like
is. It
it
is.
is. It is. It's beautiful. And it's meant to be. Like it
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I mean, everybody's got that experience where they're watching some of the young adults in their ward or their own family or whatever, and they're seeing it and going, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, isn't it cute? Isn't
It's
it lovely?"
darling. It is darling. And I have the same experience watching older, like when I go home to see and I stay with my mom and dad when I go to Salt Lake. They are just, they know each other inside and out, and to watch them banter back and forth and see how they loving and supportive they are and how they finish each other's sentences and read each other's minds and and have this whole process of how one does this part and the other does, it's just darling to watch, and it touches me so much. But on the same hand, same turn, it makes me a little bit sad too. Or sometimes
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to have Nicole, my daughter-in-law's parents, live here, and so sometimes, like for Christmas or Thanksgiving, they'll invite me over. If the kids are over at their house, they'll say, well, have your mom come over too, because they know I'm alone, and so I'll go over. But just watching the two of them, how much they love and care about each other, or in that family setting that I don't have. And it's hard sometimes. It's joyful and sad at the same time.
And I think that's called life.
Yeah.
I think, because I get that feeling too. And, like people say, how do you cope with, when your husband died? And I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like that's the real truth. It sucks because I wanted that. Well, he hadn't even retired, and all these retired couples traveling the world and, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They were all the plans for the future. And, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. It's meant to. Like it's not that there's something wrong. It sucks. And so we watch other people have what we dream of.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to feel like, I'd like that.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's not our path. And that's a hard part of God's life plan. It's like, why can't I have that path? I want that one.
Yeah.
But, that's the case for nearly every issue, isn't it? Like you and I've got great health. Like there's people looking at us going, oh, why can't I have the great health she's got? Why did I get this genetic disease? It's not fair. So,
true.
Other people never got children. We can sit here and at least we got kids. We can now talk about these grandkid cuddles. Other people are sitting like, well, I would have liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always something, right, that somebody's kind of missing out on.
So, life's hard. Like it's, anybody who told you that life was going to be a breeze, like they lied.
Yeah, they did. I don't think we've ever been told. I've never been told that, but for sure.
I fear that I've told my children that because I see them struggling in their life and they're sort of shocked that they're struggling.
Like, this is so much easier for mom and dad.
Yeah, that's right. And I sort of, did I forget to tell you that life's hard? That first year of a baby's life is straight out hard.
Yeah.
Teenage children, no, that's hard.
Yes, this is
get sick, that's hard. It's like,
so
life's hard. And so each one of us is facing that. And the death of your spouse is really hard because, you sort of watch other couples grow old and they grow into their 90s together and you're going, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But then other people lost their partner when they were 30 and had a brand new baby and stuff. And you're going, oh, yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
And they might never get to remarry. So they might be missing those special hugs for the rest of their life. And you're going, oh, wow, that's hard.
Yeah.
And
we should also remember that there's always good things too. Like when I did the list, right?
Yeah.
Here's all the things that aren't the same, then I thought, I made the list and then I thought, I'm going to see what ChatGPT has to say about this. So I put it in ChatGPT and the list that came out was very similar. It was, but I liked some of the things, the way they worded it, or ChatGPT worded it better, because I would just say, I miss having somebody to hug and to hold. And they said consistently. And I think that is a difference, or a big difference, and they kind of added more adjectives, I guess is what I'd say. But then at the very end, after it printed me the list of 30 things that are not the same without a partner, it said, now do you want me to make a list of things that are better without a partner? I was like, oh, sure, I guess, why not? And so we do have to make that list too, right? Then, it had things like you can spend your money however you want. You make the financial decisions all by yourself, or, you don't have to coordinate with somebody else. So all the things that we know are benefits. I mean, there are a lot of freedoms and flexibility when it comes to being alone that are pluses and minuses. So we do have to be thankful and grateful for having those things too. So
yes. I get to choose whatever. I've just bought myself a brand new car, everybody, and it's very exciting. And yes, it was lonely to sort of like, oh, I don't have somebody to come and help me choose and talk to it about it. But then I got to choose.
Yeah.
I got to choose whatever I wanted. I didn't have someone going, no, we're not buying that. No.
It's so true.
I actually had a granddaughter with me, and because she's like, well, it's your car, you can buy what you like. So she is somebody I was talking to. But yes, I get to choose whatever I want. I get to choose what TV show I watch. I get to choose when I go to bed. I get to choose what I eat. There's a lot of freedoms that some married people would be going, yeah, you're very lucky,
Yeah, this is true. So we do have to appreciate and be grateful for those things. We got to keep those in our gratitude journal.
And isn't that the whole point of the gratitude journals? The whole point, like at the end of the day, you can sit there and I can come up with a list of reasons why today was a bad day.
Yeah.
Or come up with a list about why today was a good day. Yeah. And it's the same day. Neither one of those was a lie or wrong or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
They're both true. And I think a part of the sort of not feeling lonely is actually coming up with that positive list. Not so much that it stops the things that you don't have.
Yeah.
But you just appreciate what you do have. And and appreciating just makes life easier.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about how bad life is doesn't make life better.
No, not at all.
So might as well have the positive list. So for everybody, make that list for yourself. What is it that you get to be because you're alone?
Yeah, it's a good list. It's good. The other thing is don't shame yourself. It's okay that you're feeling the loss or you're feeling sad or grieving, and just allow yourself to work your way through it. Sometimes you just have to, it's okay to cry a little bit and love and accept yourself in this situation that you're in, and give yourself the love and acknowledgement that, hey, yeah, it's okay to be sad about this, but I'm not, don't dwell in it or stay stuck in it. Just allow yourself to move through it.
Yeah. That's we say the way to heal a feeling is to feel the feeling.
Yeah, I like that.
Right. And so it's very important to not dismiss the feelings. Sometimes
don't stuff it down or.
Sometimes life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's lonely. It's not the way you wanted it. It's not the plan. We watch other couples and go, gee, I wish I had that. You're allowed to feel that. It's okay.
Yeah.
But feel the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Move
and
on.
just love and accept yourself for what you're feeling right now. It's okay.
It's okay.
Give yourself that love.
And then move on.
Yeah.
And then make the list of what's good.
Yeah.
And number one on that list is you will grow your relationship with your Heavenly Father.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the biggest things. And that's not to be sneezed at because, it
makes up for an awful lot. It certainly does. There's no question.
I certainly, when I was a busy mum and working and children and stuff like that, the relationship with Heavenly Father was there. I did my prayers. Yeah, we did family home evening. We did pretty good, but that wasn't now the relationship is, He is my Father in heaven. Like that's, I get it now. This is.
Yes.
And some people might get that much earlier in life. It took me to have massive trials to get it. But the point is, that's the point of life, isn't it? I got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The point of life for all of us is to, yes, and look for that partner. God's told us looking for a partner is a great idea, but but don't let that be the only thing you're doing. Get on with all of the other things He's told you to do. Do the ministering, serve in your calling, serve in the temple, do your work, save your money, stay physically fit. There's a ton of stuff to do, guys.
Yeah. Well, and I know working out is a great way to relieve some of that sadness and work through some of that sadness too. If I didn't work out every day and have my fitness goals, that would be really hard on my mental health.
Okay. So make sure that you're filling your life. I think not sitting at home and just feeling sorry for yourself will actually increase loneliness. And it's probably what they mean by the loneliness epidemic, because it's sitting at home and going, woe is me.
Yeah. Self-isolating. We got to be careful about making sure we don't connect the loneliness to our self-worth. Like that's another reason to be really clear about our relationship to God and our belonging, our sense of belonging, our sense of purpose, and our own personal worth. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we don't have a partner in our life at the moment. And so it's really important to keep those separate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we say that all the time, but
so there's a difference between loneliness, lack of connection with God, and then wanting a partner. They're all separate. And so make sure that the thing that yes, having a romantic partner is a lovely goal, but there's lots of other ways to counteract loneliness. And so make sure you're filling your day with lots of good stuff. Yeah. All right.
Lovely. We hope that helps somebody. It sure helped me to feel a little bit better about what it was I was actually feeling, and that it wasn't actually, in fact, loneliness, but just a longing for something that's not part of my life right now, which is okay.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope that's helped everybody a little bit, and I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear about what you're feeling, what the negative feelings are, and what you do to cope with loneliness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank
you, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.